Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another type of video for you. It's actually a tier list. Now I saw a lot of other art YouTubers doing tier lists like this one, so I thought I might as well try it, give it a go as well. Now I've got a lot of PvP and PvE experience because I played both. I do 100 days on the channel. I've also played a lot of PvP just in spare time anyway because that's what I enjoy. So I feel like my opinion kind of spreads across two different fan bases of Ark. So I feel like I can give a kind of accurate tier list. Obviously this is my opinion. And do leave your tier list in the comment section down below and tell me what you think. Just before we do get into the video though, please do check out the last video I made, 100 days of Ark 4Joe on a multiplayer server, because it took a flipping long time to make. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you do want to see more tier lists like this one, obviously hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Now first up, the first map we'll do is the centre. I've realised while I was in this that there is no pattern to how I choose these maps, so we'll just go off it. But the centre is one of the first maps to come to Ark. It's actually the second. The developer, it was like a modder, he made the map. He actually got a job, I'm pretty sure, after making this map. Now for the centre, I quite like the centre. It's got a lot of nostalgia, I played it a lot. But I'm pretty sure this map is loved by both communities, PvE and PvP. It has a lot of base location for PvP and for PvE, and it's just a good map overall. Which is why I've got to put the centre at the top of the tier list at S tier, because it is just one of the best maps to ever come to Ark. Now next up, obviously we're going in no order, we'll go for the most recent map to come to Ark, and that is Varga. Now when I first got Varga and I did 100 days on it, I loved it. I did 100 days on PvE and PvP, but I've come to realise that this map actually stinks for PvP. It just doesn't have many base locations. The resource spawns can just be blocked off. I've a lot of YouTubers pointing this out, like BAM, and the developer even came out and said it wasn't really intended to be PvP. But for PvE, it's actually awesome. It has everything you need. It has wyverns, it has all the resources, all the dinos, and when I play PvE on it, I really like this map. Now I do go in on some of the maps and how Wildcard created them, but for this one, they made it pretty well, especially for PvE, but they kind of forgot about the PvP aspects. But that's why I'm going to put it in the A tier and not S tier. For me, I just loved it on PvE, but PvP, it did really stink. Now, next up, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do the island, because the island, well, it's the most nostalgic map. It has, you basically know where it's going to be. It is obviously the first map to come to Ark, and it just deserves to be in that top tier, because this is what everyone got introduced to when they first started playing Ark. Obviously, when I started playing it, I played the island, and that is why it's going S tier. I don't have to say much on that, but next up, I think I'll go to Varga, kind of a forgotten map. When I played a lot of PvP on this map, not as much PvE, but when I played PvP, I really enjoyed it. As the metas have changed, it's not as good in PvP now. But if you want to get drops and stuff like that, this map is amazing for that. Varga is another free map. We just love to see free maps because you don't really have to pay for a DLC that could kind of underwhelm in the end. This map was never underwhelming. It brought a new dino, which is where it has to go into B tier, I feel, because I feel a lot of people just forget about it and don't really care about it, so it's not the best in everyone's eyes. But next, obviously, Ragnarok. All the PvE players love this map. But in PvP, as the metas have changed, this map reeks. There's hardly any base locations anymore, apart from places like Desert Crack. But for PvE, it's perfect. It's got everything. It was the second map to introduce wyverns, the first one to introduce a lot of dinos together, which is why I have really good memories playing this map. When the PvP was actually there, I played it a lot, and it was fun. And most of the PvE community, which is the largest community in Ark, I'm pretty sure, love this map, so that's why it has to go in S tier, because it just deserves to be there. It just has the best memories and the best nostalgia from playing Ark. Now next up, I think I'll just do the next one on the list, it's Crystal Isles. Now, I'm not gonna lie, but I didn't play this map too much compared to the other maps, because when this map actually came out, I was kind of having a break, because I didn't play it. The only parts of this map that I played is on PvP. I did one wipe on it, that's about it. I didn't play any PvE, but overall the map looks amazing. It's very colourful, and it's quite a big map as well. So for PvE, it seems perfect, but for PvP, I haven't played it much. So that's why I think I'm going to put it into B or C tier. I think B will do for now. Everyone I've spoken to do enjoy this map, so that's why I'm going to put it there. I just do not know enough about it, but it always has a lot of players playing on it. Next up, though, I think we should go for Genesis 2. I'll speak about Genesis 1 in a sec, but Genesis 2 is a very recent map and DLC to come to Ark. But it's trash. It should be going in the bin. I hate this map, and I'm going to talk a lot about why. And obviously for PvE it doesn't really matter. I'm going to talk about PvP for this one because it absolutely ruined the PvP meta. It's too easy to start on. You get rid of all the fun parts of Ark, which by just having a tech suit straight away. And it's just not a fun map. It ruined most of the PvP meta because it's so easy to start on. It has such OP dinos. And they made the dinos OP once again. Now in most DLCs they make the dinosaurs ridiculously overpowered so you get the DLC. Now it doesn't really matter for PvE, but for PvP it does really matter because everyone wants these dinos to gain an advantage. Now I know a lot of you will disagree with this, but this is just my opinion and I know a lot of people agree, especially in the PvP community. But that should lead us on to the other Genesis 1 map, which when it first came out I wasn't sure about it. It had the new teleporting feature which came to Ark. And at first it was a bit glitchy. It brought a few new dinos into it. And with the shop system I thought it would be easier for noobs, not noobs, but like newer players to come on and play the game. But I came to realise that there's no real zone to actually play in. And the easy zone is supposed to be the bog and it just isn't easy. You die every 5 seconds. Obviously for more experienced players it's fine. But for newer players this map I think is pretty hard to play on. Again, the meta kind of changes. It was so easy to get tech when this came out. And it did ruin a lot of PvP when it first came out. But the dinos were nerfed and it's not so bad anymore. I like the map in general a little bit. It has a few dinos that I like as well, like the Bloodstalker and the Magmasaur. But I think that is why I'm going to place it nearer the bottom of the table on the tier list. It just doesn't appeal to me and I just really did not like the Genesis expansion overall. For me, I like the primitive parts of Ark. And these are kind of the opposite of it. I know a lot of people's minds changed a lot. For PvE as well, it doesn't really appeal to me in any way. So that's why it's near the bottom. Now next up, I think we'll go to Lost Island. Now Lost Island, for me, it's kind of just like a nothing map. It doesn't really have too much to it. It has a new boss. But I've never really seen it that popular apart from the starts of some PvP wipes. On PvE, there's a lot of structures that look cool and some nice places to build your base. But I still don't see that many people playing on it. Especially when it came out as well. I feel like Ark was in a weird period where it didn't have many players excited about the map. Now, it looks really cool, most of the map. And I quite like it. I've actually did a PvE 100 day series on this map. So go and check that out if you haven't already. Now for PvP I've also played it as well. It doesn't have that many base locations and I think I'm going to put it into the C tier. Just because it's not really, there's nothing to resemble from it. But next up is Aberration. Now Aberration brings back so much nostalgia for me. I played Small Tribes PvP when this came out. Not played much PvE, but in PvP it was fun because it was a different experience. Now you get bored of it and I kind of forget about it. I've never really gone back to it apart from when I do metal runs. It brought in a lot of cool structures though, and a lot of cool dinos which are used in many more maps. And I can't say too much about it though, because it just has to be in B tier. I know a lot of people either love it or hate it, so I'm just going to put it in the middle so I don't annoy as many people. Now, next up, I don't really know what this one at the end is. I think it's the same as the islands. I'm just going to leave it there. Please tell me if I forgot a map, because hopefully I haven't. Now, next up, I reckon we'll go with, let's go Extinction, another DLC. Now, once again with this DLC, the dinos when released were ridiculously overpowered. I remember playing Small Tribes and you just had to get the DLC or else you just get overpowered by the new dinos. They eventually got nerfed, but it did take a while. The mechs are still overpowered. But I did actually really enjoy playing this map. For newer players and for PvE, it doesn't seem the easiest map to start on, as you've got like a wasteland where you can't build or anything because you just get destroyed by asteroids. You've only got like 4 small biomes where you can build. But when playing this I had a really good time. It's quite a big map as well. It's got a lot of new dinos which are pretty cool, and it's got 3 titans as well. It was the first time they brought in more titans than the actual original titan. And they're not that hard to defeat either, and they bring in a new way to get element. Now obviously I like the primitive parts, but this way isn't too bad to get an element from OSD drops. And I find it quite easy to start on, especially in PvP, it's easy to start on to get like electronics and stuff like that. But for newer players I'm not so sure. So that is why it's going A tier, just because in my opinion I had a really good time playing this map after it was fixed, because the dinos were ridiculously overpowered. But finally we're going to go to Scorched. Now Scorched, I was playing before Scorched came out, but when it did come out it was obviously a new thing because it's a DLC, the first ever DLC they made. Now you can tell it's the first one because it's really basic, but it's actually amazing. Obviously there's hardly any players playing it anymore, and for PvP, people just tend to go there to make big bases, and PvE the same, making big bases and enjoying Scorched and going for stone runs and flint runs. But it was the first map, if you remember, to bring in the wyverns, and it was just an amazing experience having a new type of field art. So that's why I really do rate this map. Now it is quite hard though, again, for newer players, because there is different systems like the storm system, the sandstorm system, all that sort of thing, as you can see. And the heat as well, but it was a pretty hard map to get started on. There's always a crap bazookas waiting in the oases to nibble at your ankles. But when you start getting into the later game, this map is really fun, and they brought in a new boss. It was the first new boss they brought in, the Manticore, and obviously it's quite a hard boss, but it's also fun just to see something different at the time as well. And with this DLC they brought in a lot of new dinos as well. It wasn't just a few like the newer DLCs, they brought in a lot more with this one. They really went in with this map. And also there's now the Phoenix as well. But that is probably going to be the end of the tier list. Hopefully I haven't forgotten any maps. And if you did enjoy and like this sort of content, obviously hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And hopefully you'll see more tier lists like this. And just if you want to see more content from me in general, obviously hit the like button and subscribe, because I will still be doing all the other content I already make. And hopefully I can add a few more of these into it. And also, I need to shout out some of the YouTubers who beat me to this and gave me ideas, such as Caesar, who did one on PvP YouTubers, and Ragnarok always does tier lists. So go and check them out, but obviously after checking out my channel, first of all. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.